I welcome you all again for the today's session. If you remember in the last class, we had gone through the various protection mechanisms which are available. Means we tend to know that there exist different security controls, but at the end of the day, the majority of the controls will follow these protection mechanisms in broad. Those are: one is defense in depth, second one is abstraction, third one is data hiding, and last one is encryption. Today we will see much insights about the second way of protection mechanisms which security controls generally tend to follow, which is nothing but the abstraction. If you see the abstraction in security, the main motto of having abstraction in security is bring the efficiency in the implementation of security very easily. Enhance efficiency by the concept of grouping similar elements together. Let's say you have certain objects which the characteristics of those objects or subjects or classes, but they have same concept and same characteristics and the same behavior. Then bring those objects together such that management of those objects will get easier. So of abstraction, the fundamental idea is grouping the similar elements. When we try to bring the similar elements together, and taking and managing of similar elements together will become much easier. Enables the collective assignment of security controls or restrictions and permissions. Let's say I want to enforce a security control or restriction or a permission. Let's say I want to apply this restriction to an individually. For each and every individual, it is very challenging and it is a tedious job. But let's say that the security requirements for each individual is still remain same. The level of security we need to provide for each and every individual in that organization still remains same. Then let's bring all together in one group and impose any security control based on their group. So even if I want to have a restriction control, if I want to apply for a group, it makes easy. Even if I want to give additional privileges in terms of permissions, then also it makes job easy. So it ultimate idea of that abstraction is simplify the security management by applying security controls to categorize the objects or roles. This is the ultimate idea. The abstraction is fundamentally making the management of security easy by applying the controls in a broader way to an objects or roles. Based on role specific, you can have a broader criteria of abstraction. Based on objects, you can have broader. This is the ultimate goal. If you see, the abstraction is also, we know it is part of object-oriented programming. When you see the object-oriented programming and security-wise, it is having similar line. See, in the programming language also, users are trying to interact with objects without knowing their internal details, right? We don't have any necessity to know that how the object has been internally implemented or something. We just focus on the current syntax such that we will provide the rightful input which is required to access, and subsequently we will get the rightful output. We don't bother about what is the implementational details. So similarly, same thing is going to apply in the security. When a user is trying to access any critical resource, he will access everything based on the system calls and permissions. He does not want to have knowledge of acquaintance or how internally it has been implemented. He simply have an API call which is expecting a proper input, and subsequently if he is authorized or having the rightful permissions for that group, you will directly get the relevant information which is needed, right? So abstraction, it how it will support in the security administration is it makes the users object to group or classes to group for better access control. If you want to apply a better access control for a broader category of similar kind of objects or classes, the abstraction is the first and foremost important thing. So, and the rights and privileges assigned to groups, it is not merely applying to an individual object or class, right? So when you do something in the broader sense, the abstraction is the best thing. If you want to have a rights and privileges, you want to apply. So let's say in an organization, the employees will have different level of categories. Some employees belongs to some generic work. There is another group who will do the admin group. So admin group of employees can be identified together. The corresponding privileges can be granted. The technical department people, group of employees who are working for the technical, they can group together and they can have the rightful privileges. The administration group of employees who are working for the organization, they can group together and they can provide rightful permissions. The ultimate goal of abstraction is simplifying the security management by grouping the rightful objects together based on their roles and responsibilities. You identify the objects. If those objects all meeting or all are undergoing the same roles and responsibilities, bring together. That is the fundamental idea of the abstraction. So adding an object to group automatically applies predefined security controls when we have this concept. Let's say today you have a broader group of employees who are technical employees. Tomorrow you recruited a technical employee for the same job. Adding him and applying that same security controls or permissions or restrictions is very easy when you have the abstraction in place. That's it for today's session. Next, we will able to see the data hiding and the encryption, how they are important in the security and how they are elaborated as part of the protection mechanisms. Thank you.